Hey guys, I wanted to show you guys my method for using what I call a bundle break. Let's just say, for example, you have a whole bunch of greater mithril ore or diamond or rubies or whatever that you want to break out, and you don't want to sit there every 4 seconds hitting the mouse button. So what I end up doing after a long stage of gathering is I end up with a whole bunch of different types of ore, and I want to break it all out. Now, of course, I know greater mithril ore sells great by itself, so I don't necessarily need to turn it into mithril ore, but I'm just using this for an example for this. Okay, now what we want to do with our AION Goblin over here is we're going to edit a routine. So first what we're going to do is, after editing the routine, is we're going to actually create a routine. So for this example, I'm just going to delete this routine, and we're going to create a new one. Now, what I like to call it is a bundle break. You can call it Shirley for all I care. It doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to put a bundle break. Bundle break. Now that tells me what this routine is supposed to do. After you're creating a new routine, it's going to start out with blank. All right, now there's two ways that we can do this. The first is we can manually go in and add mouse clicks in a specific point and then repeat that every 4 seconds. First one, so we add this, is going to ask us some options of the mouse clip. Oops, here, let me show you. Under mouse commands, mouse click, drag, and drop. And that'll, once you release it, that'll come up with mouse click. There you go. Now, we want to select it on the game window. We're going to select the left button or right button or the middle button. For this, I'm going to use the right button. Why not? Select full click or just hold down, release, all that stuff. We're just going to do full click for this one. And click a specified point. We're going to hit that true. Now, this is the cool part. What we can do is actually specify the point, and it's going to give us an X and a Y value, a height and a width value on where we're going to press this button. Now, to backtrack, what I've done in the actual game is, here's my character, and I've basically gone on top of him. The reason I do that is because I set the desired item to be broken right up on his head. That way I know every single time where to set my mouse cursor or my inventory slot to break this out. So let me pull this back, the editor back up. We're going to pull in a mouse clip, drag and drop, local window, right button for fun, and specified point. Now, hit this button, and what we get is this escape key. And this tells the computer where we want to press the button. So put your cursor over where you want to press the right-click button, and you hit escape. Now, that pulls in an XY value on the game window. And so what we can do is go under advanced options. Now, there's going to be roughly, I think it's 4 seconds in between the bundles when we start to open one bundle and we are able to open the next one. So, time after pause after click, I'm going to put 4,100 milliseconds. That way, it gives me 4 seconds plus 100 milliseconds of a break in there. Maybe bringing this up to 4,300 or 500 just to do this. Okay. Now, the idea is what we wanted to do is break this greater mithril ore out into the mithril ore by depressing the right-click mouse button here at this location. Now, the cool thing about this is that up in the routine editor, it just created this. And you can kind of see, if you look at this, local computer, game window, right mouse click at window point, blah, 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 pause after click. So it kind of puts a textual description of what it's going to do, where it's going to do it, and how best it's going to do it. Now, the next thing that we want to do is I like to do this twice over. So we're going to copy this step and then paste this step. We don't really need to, but this is kind of the way I roll, so let me know if you have any comments or a better way to do this. Now, we have basically what this routine is going to do is break out the bundles twice. So what we want to do, obviously, if we have, let's say, 111 bundles to break, we want to do it a lot more. So what I do is I typically ended up on an unspecified loop. So what I'm going to do is create a loop. Under the loops, I think, select these two, create a loop. Now repeat quantity, I put it at 1,000 because I've never gathered anything more than 1,000, and I'll show you why in a second. And what we're going to end up doing at the end is actually creating two buttons, one that's bundle break, so for quick and easy access over here, and one that's abort bundle break or end all routines. Okay, now what this does, what this loop we just created says repeat 1,000 times, but the problem is it's going to repeat what's between these two lines. So we actually need to move these two items down in between these two lines. So quick and easy, boom, and boom. So now we have a repeat, 1, 2, and end after 1,000 times. So there is our bundle break step. Okay. Now I'm going to close this out. It automatically saves, so we don't need to worry about that. Now I'm going to open up user button interface. Now if you notice, we don't have any buttons set up here, so we're going to add a new button. And this new button, we're going to name it bundle break or B_B, just for, you know, whatever. The cool thing is you can set this up to label whatever you want it to label. For me, I just put B/B or BB. There we go. Now I'll pull it in. Now this creates, when we're in the setup buttons on the console mode, we're able to kind of drag and drop all these different buttons. And what I like to do is kind of drag this out or maybe even drag this down. And I'll put this bundle breakdown here. And let's say I wanted to make it bigger. So you can resize it very easily. I'm no graphic artist, but you can make it really big. And then we're going to have, when we press this button, we want it to do something. So in this case, we want it to run an action or a routine. And this one is under the button properties. The second tab over is button action list. Add an action. Now we're going to call up that bundle break routine. And the great thing is we don't have to remember how we spelled it or what the name of it is. We can click this little wheel icon over here, and then this will pull up a list of all of our routines. Now typically the bundle break or whatever routine you added last is going to be found down at the bottom until you save it, and then it'll be, I think, in an alphabetical order. So anyways, bundle break. So what that says is basically when we press this button, it's going to run this routine for 1,000 times, and then it'll stop the routine automatically. So let's say we only have, what did I have, 1,100 or, yeah, I'm sorry, 111 bundles to break. So I want a stop button. So we're going to create a new button, and we're going to go to button properties. I'm going to say stop. And that one, I'm going to label it as stop. And that will pull in that label there. And now, if you notice over here, this stop button came in, and we can place it wherever, however you want, make it look pretty, shiny. Again, I'm no graphic artist, but you can set it up however you want. Now, this stop button, right now, it doesn't do anything because we haven't assigned any actions to it. So I'm going to add an action. Now, over here on the left drop-down menu, we have start a routine, abort a routine, or pause a routine, unpause a routine, abort, loop, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So I'm going to try abort all routines, and we'll see how that works. And this specifies local computer. So abort all routines on local computer, hit OK. Now you can see this coming back up. Now, just as a side note, if you wanted to add multiple options to this, you could add an additional routine that say, let's see, we want to start I don't know, start poison. You know, whatever that routine is, we can hit OK. So I stop this, it's going to abort all routines, and it's also going to start another routine. But that's just a, hey, gee whiz, that's kind of interesting. Now, the other feature that I didn't point out on the bundle break button is the fact that we have some colors available to us. So what I like to do is put my stop as red, and I'll put the bundle break as, let's say bundle break as blue. Or green. Ooh, green means money. Yeah, money. All right. So anyways, now we have two buttons. We have a bundle break and a stop. And you notice I X out of there, and I don't need to save. It'll automatically keep it here. However, if we do make any adjustments to the editor, what I typically do is save file as. The reason is because I have done this many other times, and there's so many different file masters that my macro goblin seems to be a little cluttered. So I'm going to use this as bundle BB test, just to name it as a bundle break test so I know what it is later. Now we're going to test it out. We have all these inventories here, and we'll slide it off to the side. Now what I do typically is I'll have my bundle break ready to go, but I don't know where it's going to press. So I'm going to guesstimate, and what I could do is actually figure out where it's going to be by just hitting the start button. And as you can see, the mouse cursor went over. If I move it off and leave it, it's going to come right back. So what I can do in between those 4 seconds is I have a little time to place the inventory cube wherever I want it to be, and eventually it will catch up. Now you notice it's not doing it every 4 seconds. That's because in the bundle break we specified 4.5 seconds, or 4,500 milliseconds. So if we wanted to adjust that and make it just Johnny on the spot, there you go. By hitting the stop button several times, that aborts all routines. So that does stop it. So let's go back into our routine editor, and we can take away that half a second pause that we put in there originally. So where is it? Bundle break. Again, it put it in alphanumeric, and here we go. So just double click on it, go to advanced options, and there's that 4.5 second pause. We're going to take it out, and let's just say 4 seconds. And it's advanced options, 4 seconds on both lines, and hit OK. And again, we don't have to save, it automatically saves, but it's a good idea to go in and save the file. Now we can run it again and see if that little pause was taken out. And I'm going to guesstimate that my inventory bundle break thing will be here, so I click on it. Oh, I missed. So you just slide it over a little bit. Bada boom, bada bing. Now it works. And there's still a little bit of a pause. So maybe it's 3.8, 3.9, but I'm happy with that, so I'm not too worried. If you have any questions on any of the Macro Goblin videos that I've posted, please let me know. I hope you guys have a good one.